Ladies and gentlemen, American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, I'm honored to be able to interview another Durrani victim. We're lining them up. By the way, if you are a Durrani victim and would like to be interviewed, you've now seen with Valerie Reeves and you're going to see with Robert Masters that it's painless. And if you're someone who'd like to share your story, we're just going to keep doing these interviews and just keep pounding away. It's just part of the process to get you justice. So with me today is Robert Masters. Robert, you look like you're a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like me. Now, where are you from, Robert?
Hamilton, Ohio.
I'm looking at your fact sheet. We did the same thing with Valerie. We keep this chart where you filed your lawsuit in Butler County. Then you were one that got transferred to Hamilton County.
Yes, sir.
We wanted to get the hell out of Butler County. You had a surgery August 3rd, 2009 at Christ Hospital.
Yep.
And I want everybody to know that surgery, based upon Ohio terrible law, statute of repose, and the fact that he fled in December 2013, that is like 3 months too late from him being able to make a claim on. It's just wrong.
Totally wrong.
So Christ gets out of the soup on his case solely because of that terrible law. And then you had one on September 14th, 2011 at Westchester. You had BMP2, and you also had some failed hardware. Let's go back to the beginning. What caused you to end up in Durrani? Like, how did you end up in Durrani's office?
I was in a car accident, and a couple days later started having a bunch of neck pain and went to the doctor, seen River Hills first, and they told me, horrible news, basically that I wouldn't ever work again.
What did you do for a living?
I was in basically sanitary sewer engineer.
Okay.
For City of Hamilton.
Okay.
And
like a damn good job.
Yeah, it was okay. We did mostly inspections and sewer cleaning, stuff like that. But, being scared to death and never working again, I was, 42 years old then? And been working since I was 16. Then got a second opinion through Dr. Durrani, and he promised me the world. 6 weeks, you'll be good as new, blah, blah, blah. That was the first surgery.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened between 2009 and 2011? Like, what led to your second surgery?
Just constant pain. It never really got better. It was probably better for maybe the first year. But then, come to find out, I should have been fused a couple levels further in the beginning when he just fused the first one. But hindsight's 2020, didn't know any difference then.
Were you someone, I'm assuming that you were because most were you someone who had no idea that Durrani might have done something inappropriate to you until you saw him get arrested?
Or
did you, what caused you to contact us?
Well, it was actually the thing that really sparked it, really, was the day before he got arrested when I was getting injected, and they told me I was going to get injected into the wrong level.
Let's talk about that because this is an extraordinary, folks. This Durrani cases, there is like 1,000. I'm not making it up. There's like 1,000 anecdotes that'll blow you away, and there's like 100 different things that Durrani did that was wrong. I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, this isn't like there was just one thing. One of the things that Durrani did wrong is his pain doctor, Dr. Tayeb, who ended up turning against him and testifying against him, admitted under oath that Durrani would tell him to inject his pain medicine in the wrong place so the victim would still suffer and still want to get another back surgery. That was admitted. Now, this is what's really sick. Tayeb admitted that he would do it. So tell them your story along those lines.
Basically went to UC Westchester, and they were going to do an injection, and I was like, hold on, that's the wrong level. They held it up for like an hour and a half and called and finally got, hey, he's supposed to be injected in C5, not C6, 7. So eventually they injected it, and then the next day on the news, I seen where he was arrested. As soon as I seen he was arrested, I went straight to his office, got all my records, and handed them over to Eric.
Yeah. You're another one. You had failed hardware. What was that all about?
Basically, Beacon Orthopedics, thanks to Dr. Rodway and Dr. Roemiller, they went in and cleaned up what he did and found a bunch of loose screws, and a couple of the hardware wasn't placed exactly the way that it should have been, surprisingly enough.
I want to give Dr. Roemiller a few props. He's cleaned up some of the Durrani victims. He has helped some of them.
Yes, and thankful for Beacon Orthopedics altogether. But yeah, once they did that, I'm continuing to stay upright. You know, they told me the right fall, the right car accident again, I could be paralyzed from the waist down because of the BMP2 overgrowing the bone into my spinal cord.
Yeah. You just so you know, BMP2 is called a bone morphogenic protein, and what they used to do with I know I sound like a spine doctor. I swear to God I could be a spine doctor, except I wouldn't be able to do the cutting. But here's what it is. They used to take part of your hip bone or some of your bone and use, when they're like replacing a disc or taking it, they have to have something that is live that grows. Well, Medtronics came up with this bone morphogenic protein, BMP2, and what it is it does the same job, and it's supposed to be easier, and you don't have to do a cut from your hip or whatever. So the problem is that this was only supposed to be used, according to FDA approval, in the very lowest area of your spine, okay? Very lowest. So you're talking about the sacrum and the lumbar one. So what Durrani did is he put it everywhere. It was supposed to also just be in adults. He put it even in minors. But what he would do is he would put it in necks and every place else too. And there's an increased risk of cancer with this stuff. But here's the other thing that he did. When you take this BMP2, this substance, it comes in a vial. You're supposed to put it in this approved cage, and it keeps it in that location. Durrani wouldn't use the cage. So Robert, along with countless other of these Durrani victims, have this BMP2 stuff like out of control growth. It's like a cancer growing up and down their spine, and it causes major problems, and it can't be removed. And something like his, where it gets to the spinal canal, holy cow. So I mean, it is the most sloppy, crazy, insane things that he did.
Well, and even on top of that, 3 weeks ago, I just had melanoma removed from my shoulder, right?
Oh man,
which is a type of cancer.
Right.
I asked the doctor then. I said, could the BMP2 be part of that? She said, I'm really not sure. But I mean, it was within inches of where he did the surgery on my neck. So figure that out. I mean, it may connect, it may not.
You know, did you ever go back to your job?
I did go back to my job. I went back. I worked from 2009, from the first surgery, all the way to 2015.
Good for you.
But as things went on and things progressed, I started getting a condition called spasticity. My muscles lock up. I get muscle spasms. Like I can't even hold my phone to my ear for an extended period of time without my arm locking up. And I'm not talking like a muscle spasm like you get in the middle of the night for 10 minutes. I'm talking something that lasts 35, 45 minutes.
Robert, I got to ask you this. Your lawsuit was filed in 2014 in Butler, then it was transferred to Hamilton County in 2015. Your case hasn't gone to trial yet, has it?
No.
See, you are one of the hundreds that still have not gone to trial. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about that, because I just did a video this week about how terrible MedPro is. Just think about that. Think about that for a minute. This guy right here, his lawsuit's filed in 2014, gets transferred 2015. You're talking 10 years, 10 years. Remember, Ohio has a rule, Supreme Court rule. 3 years, case has got to be over with. This guy, 9 years, hasn't had his trial. MedPro makes no offers, no nothing. See, the Ohio court system is really in conspiracy with Medical Protective. This is the damnedest. This is the damnedest legal story in the history of the freaking world. Now, we demand group trials. They don't do it. Reese finally does 2 or 3 at a time. But just think about this. If you filed a lawsuit, anybody who filed a lawsuit in Butler and Hamilton County in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, their lawsuits are resolved and over with, but not Robert's.
No.
Why? Because it's a Durrani case. It's insane. It is insane. And after Roman got the cases all taken away from him, because he was going to do them all in groups, it'd be over by 2017. They went to 14 judges. We're like, okay, we got 14 judges to trial these cases. Let's rock. O'Connor took them away from those 14 judges and placed them with one judge who's started trying them one at a time.
Yeah.
It is the most evil, diabolical thing in the history of the court and legal system in this country. As I've said, Robert, the only thing, and this is like isolated, the only thing I think is worse than what's happened to Durrani victims is if you're somebody that went to jail innocently and you serve a bunch of years and you know you're innocent, that's a terrible thing. However, there's never been anything like this in America involving so many people like this being mistreated. And isn't it nuts, Robert?
It's a fact that, the more you look at it, the money that the hospitals and that their lawyers have, they're just shoving us to the back burner. They just keep pushing us back and back and back. And honestly, I've lost all faith in the American judicial system, period.
As you should.
Yeah,
I have long ago.
It's ridiculous.
How the Ohio Supreme Court Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor and Sharon Kennedy and the whole Supreme Court, Judge Barrett, who has got the slows.
Schweikert was the worst.
Schweikert was the worst. Evil Schweikert trying the case one at a time. And the local media and the big law firms are all in cahoots.
Yeah. Lions and lions. What can we say about them that's good? Period.
Lindhorst and Drive, old Mike Lyon.
Yeah.
We call him Herman Munster. He looks like Herman Munster.
Yeah.
And Robert, it is the most, I'm repeating myself, but it's just sad. Well, you keep hanging in there, buddy.
Yeah.
And we'll keep fighting for your trial. As I tell everybody, they get tired of me saying this to them. I said, hang in there. And the other thing I tell them, I said, we got two options. Quit and let these bastards win, or keep on fighting. By the way, I've said this before, and I brag about the relationship I have with these clients. And the reason why it's so good is because I keep fighting for them. I haven't sold them out, haven't quit, finance it by $2 million a year. And they stay loyal to me no matter what the hell these bastards try to do to me. So sure. we're together, aren't we, Robert?
Yes.
And the enemy doesn't realize that, but we need each other. And I tell Robert, I've said this to you, and I've said to everybody, as long as we stick together, I swear this is going to end gloriously. Yeah. Because Medical Protective is committed massive fraud. Can you imagine this? Saying that Durrani wouldn't cooperate, and we take Durrani's deposition 5 years later, and Durrani goes, "Oh, I always wanted to defend these cases. I always wanted to cooperate." Those son of a bitches for 5 years telling us Durrani don't want to cooperate. Yeah. And then instructing not to answer the question.
Yes.
Said, did you get notices of these depositions? Did they tell you we wanted to take the deposition? Don't answer that question. Yeah. Even Schweikert told Mike Lyon, did you tell him not to answer that for him or you?
Yeah, for both.
Even Schweikert. It's something else, isn't it?
It is. It's crazy that, one, that he fled the country shortly after he was indicted.
Yep. Barrett let him go.
Yeah. And why? If anybody else committed any type of crime, they've been kept in prison.
Money, it's exactly.
Money is money.
I tell you what's sad about that is the U.S. attorneys complained to Barrett saying he's from Pakistan. He's a Pakistani citizen. His family's there. His dad's dying of cancer. He wants to go. They knew he was a flight risk, and they didn't lock him up. Well, Robert, thank you very much for doing this. I hope those of you who are Durrani victims who've watched this realize it's kind of painless, and the more the merrier. I know we got a bunch more book, but let's book y'all. Thank you.